Good evening. So today we have our second box of League of Villains sent to us by Jasco Games. Thank you to them for sending this. So with the first box, we did sort of a box opening and talked about a bunch of cards. I figured for the second box, we'd talk about Limited a little bit. And what I'm going to try to do here, time pending, is to build 2 sealed decks out of this box. And then we'll use the second half later to talk about draft a little bit. So, if you're not familiar, this is League of Villains. This is the 4th set of the My Hero Academia card game, part of the Universus system. And its formal release date is on Friday, March 3rd. So around the time this recording is going to go up, pretty much. So we're wrapping up pre-release week. There's going to be some release weekend drafts. There's going to be some future sealed events down the road. They have some sealed specific prize support that's going to start going out after this weekend. So you'll still see stores running sealed events with this set for a little while for the coming months. And if you're not familiar, there's the organized play website is play.mhacardgame.com. We'll link that in the description. There's a nice store finder on there. You can sign up. You can get on the email list. You can get notified about future set pre-releases coming up, other goings on in the game. They're pretty good about sending out those emails, so it's a good way to keep on top of what's going on. So without further ado, I'm going to try to do this fairly quickly. So we're going to open this box. You see it's a brand new box. We still have the quirk packs on here. The XR, we're not going to go into those here because we're just interested in building a sealed deck. So I believe the way that they're doing this is they're going to hand out one random character from the set to each player before the sealed, so that you're guaranteed to have a character you have access to. But you can also play one out of the pack. So we're just going to grab this one. And hopefully I don't go too quickly here, but I'm trying to see how quickly I can get through 2 sealed decks here. So we have Dobby, so that's a good one. I like Dobby in sealed. You do have to build a bit of a bigger deck in order to be able to play his abilities. His enhance costs him removing the top 3 cards of his deck. So I've played him with 48 and it was kind of fine. You pretty much want to play every usable attack you can and then fill in with foundations or vice versa. So we're just going to open these packs. I'm going to sort them by card type. We're not going to get too into which cards we're opening right now. We might look at a cool one here, if we get an XR or whatever. I haven't really planned for the garbage. Alright, so we have an XR Shrapnel Tooth and a Warp Gate Portal. We're interested to see if we get any other characters. Warp Gate's a bit of a tough one. We'll see. If you get sort of a bomb attack, you might consider it in sealed, but probably won't. Alright, so we do have a cremation, though. That's pretty nice. That's nice to see with the Dobby we've been handed. Alright, this camera glare is gonna be a thing as we go here. It's okay, though. Some finger guns. Finger guns kind of not going to do a whole lot in sealed, but it is a 6 check. If we get some whiplashes, that becomes a card that we can pick up with a nice high block on it. So that's relevant. Whiplash is a common that is pretty much going to go in your deck no matter what in sealed. It's a 4 mid-6. It has EX. It's kind of everything you want. Because of Moonfish and some of the stuff going on in this set, we have another action card. We can always feed those Stabby. We have Muscular. That's a very popular pick for sealed. He's kind of big and tanky and kind of gets to win a lot for free. But I don't, it's tough. He wins for free by virtue of a lot of decks just don't have the ability to count to 36. People are sort of getting on, catching on to that. You're not, Musculars. There's some places that have local ban Muscular even. But if Muscular is legal in your area, you're probably going to see a lot of... we have Showdown. All these action cards. You're probably going to see a lot of people running, perhaps Dobby, perhaps Spinner, perhaps to try to actually be able to count that high. And if they're not doing that, they might be running Hiragiri or even Shigaraki to try to just block everything you do. So life is tough as Muscular. It's kind of just leads to a lot of long rounds, even if it's not always necessarily winning at the end of those rounds. We have another 1 check and Rushing Stab. That gets tricky. We have a second cremation. So we have 2 cremations. That's pretty much going to make me lean strongly towards Dobby. We'll have to see what our momentum outlets look like at the end of this. But I want a pre-release sealed with a Dobby with 2 cremations in the Showdown, so we're right on track here. And Razor Deluge. We actually have a pretty decent low damage attack count. We have Toga. We really want to go in on Rushing Stab, but we probably don't. Alright, so the nice thing about Dobby is he doesn't care too much about what attacks you're getting. He mostly just... him and Muscular both kind of want to have speed on their moves, but Dobby can go fetch Cremation to put that speed on something. And so what's our attacks look like? I think it's a little unfortunate. We might run Rushing Stab anyway, because that's just so good. I don't think we're running Warp Gate Portal. We're not going to run the asset. Muscle Mauler is always good. There's a Whiplash. Happy to see that. Blue Flame Smolder, which is nice and specifically Dobby. Dobby also likes throws. We have A Momentum out here. So far, just that one. Razor Deluge is a good card. 2 Shrapnel, 2 Piercing Growls. I don't know if we're still gonna run Piercing Growl just because of it's a little inefficient. We have Blood Transfer, Blade Rush. We have another throw here. Jet Kickback. We can't necessarily combo. So we have 1 Dark Interruption in terms of 5 hand-size muscular synergy. Let's see, if I was just to play only the attacks that I like, it would certainly be these 6. Razor Deluge. We'll take our nice +1 high blocks here. Probably play Rushing Stab and just lose to 1 checks sometimes. Card's really good. We could play Measured Violence. Dark Interruption is not doing a whole lot for us. Jet Kickback, probably not doing a whole lot for us. We can give this +3 speed though, which is kind of cool. How are we on charges? Which Charge Kick? There's no way. There's no shot. Alright. So I'm not playing that. We might as well play the throw. Might as well play Muscle Rush. It draws a card on block. Blade Rush. I don't think we're going to be doing any mid-turn building. Blood Transfer for we pretty much always play. So is there enough attacks that we feel okay with to make a big deck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, so the answer to that's kind of not really, right? 14 attacks is a little low for a 50-card deck, so if we wanted to run Dobby, we would probably be looking to add like 3 of these. We could add the 2 Piercing Growls and sort of just hope we don't remove one of them. It does have an okay deadlock on it. Blade Rush for the pseudo stun one maybe, but this is where it gets tricky. Because if you want to run Dobby, you need at least 16 attacks, probably 17, 18, something like that. We just don't necessarily have the raw count to do it here. So we might be forced into Muscular with this deck. We don't really have the face-up energy to be running the Toga theme, so we definitely can't run Toga. And just by virtue of our attack quality and our attack count, I think we're on Muscular here, which is sad because, we have the 2 Cremations, we have... we might play Showdown in Muscular to try to crack people open here. But we have some Dobby... How many Dobby-friendly foundations do we have? We have Ignite. We have a Fire Starter. At least we have some Speed Hate in this. We have another Ignite. Man. Well. Yeah, so this is a tough call, but at the end of the day, I guess the 4-speed mids are fine. So we're just going to force Dobby here. I would probably hem and haw about this for a while if this were an actual pre-release, but... because you'd have more time than this. I'm just trying to get through these quickly. But yeah, so the key question is, do you feel okay playing a bunch of 4 mid-3s that Dobby can make a 4 mid-6, of course. And they have some deadlock on them, which maybe we don't have a whole lot of else of otherwise, and maybe that's our justification. Yeah, we only have we have some good deadlock abilities here, but these will, really make sure that it's hard for them to deadlock us. And part of the reason we're doing this is we have 2 Ignites. We have this Fire Starter stuff that specifically triggers with Dobby. We might even play Blade Tooth with all these 3 damage moves, actually. We might have enough, because we're not gonna RFG 3 on every move. Some of these are just gonna be to get momentum and to deal some damage and do some poking. So we want to play some momentum outlets. Alright, I need to sort these foundations a little bit better, so let's just get the spams out here. Also, the 7 hand size we have 3 zero diffs put in our deck. That's going to be in our deck every time. Terrifying Injury. We actually have enough spam that we get to make some choices about which ones we're running if we really want. 2 Terrifying Injuries. would be a decent reason to run Muscular as well. So yeah, there's you could go either way with this, but I don't really trust Muscular to land moves against really good opponents reliably enough that I actually want to run him, and he's less fun than Dobby, honestly. You get to do some more fun things with Dobby here with our action setup. So 11 spam. This is going to be about a 50 card deck, so we're probably just playing all of these. Just all the spams we can get in this situation. Blade Tooth should be fine for us. Terrifying Injury, not great, but sometimes you end up using it. We're going to run any 6 checks we have because we have Whiplash. We'll run the 1/6 check and hope to pick that up. We might run a Buddy Block. We might not because we're running some actions too. We're at least running these 3 actions. Right, and we don't have to be 50 cards. We could be 48 or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 20 here. So we could be 48, 49, right? It is a 40 card minimum. We don't have to be 17 out of 50. Might go 49 here. It just depends on, you know, if we like the cards we're seeing. So we certainly play that. We certainly play Pump Up. Play Mastermind's Apprentice every time. Tomura's Protector. I'm not going to go through and see if it triggers on things. It probably does. Alright, I'll check. Whatever. All Chaos and Fire. So we have... Works on the twice moves. Works on this Muscular guy. Works on our throw. Yeah, it works on enough stuff. I mean, +2 damage and some card filtering is perfectly good enough. And you can always just use it for +2 damage. You just want damage and sealed. In Control, we certainly play anything that can reduce speed for us. Anything that add speed for us. Pyromania, more Momentum Out. I'm just gonna like grab cards that seem pretty good. +2 speed foundation we're playing. Bartender, we'll see. This is speed hate. Bartender, I usually end up playing because we're gonna end up wanting low blocks, most likely. Yeah. So I play this for the low block count. Because there are some pretty good low attacks in this set. There's nothing really wrong with Ruthless Mockery. You could run Ruthless Mockery instead of Showdown, but I think in our scenario, Showdown's going to do a little bit more. Alright, how many foundations are we at? So, we're looking for 28-ish foundations. We'll probably add the Buddy Block, so 28, 27, 29 is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 25 here. So we're going to play 3, 4. Oh, these are the other characters from the random stack. Okay. So we have to play some of these. Disturbing Visage actually probably fine. We have a pretty decent number of raw 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 3 damage moves, 9 3 damage moves this thing can grab. Alright, what the heck? We'll play Disturbing Visage. We might have to be relatively desperate to pop it. We might play Effortless Movement for the low block. We don't really have any echoes, so I don't know how I really feel about that. We have a pretty good weapon count, right? We might be able to... We might take it up close and personal for the speed hate. It's as good a reason as any. And... Frame of Mind doesn't make any sense. Temporary Heroes, yeah, that card's fine. A low block on it. And then that'll be our 3 cards. So, yeah, I think this is what we're going to go with. You know, on a bit of a clock here, but we're gonna have the Muscular. We can always, if the Dobby is not really working out, we can always side into a Muscular or whatever. Or if, you know, we win game 1 and we're in a mirror or something, we just start pounding on each other. Or we think that they can't deal 36 damage, right? So he's here. You have him as the option. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 30, 35, 40, 45, 49. It's 48 or 49 cards, which is enough. You do have to be a little bit selective about your activations of Dobby's Enhance, but you know, you kind of gotta be happy if they take 3 from your moves. We do have like a few 3 difficulty foundations with the 1 chick in our deck, which is a little unfortunate, but you know, if we've really got them caught, we have these cremations we can go and grab and go give something +3 speed. We have some pretty good momentum outlets, pretty good places to spend our +3 damage. It's Dobby. They have to be careful about overcommitting into us. If we're actually landing everything, we can kill basically anybody. So yeah, this is what I would go with out of this pack. And so see, when you play Dobby, you don't end up getting to cut very many cards, right? Out of all of this, we're just cutting, you know, some of the weakest attacks and assets that don't do a whole lot for us, foundations that aren't really doing anything for us. I'm playing basically any card that has any chance to do anything, really, at all, is in the Dobby deck. But, yeah. That's a sealed Dobby list. You can definitely kill Muscular, right? Your 7-hander, all your stuff's doing minimum 6 damage if you think it's going to land, and you can block him pretty well. So, nothing wrong with playing Dobby in sealed. You just have to be aware of the remove costs and build your deck a little bit bigger. Be a little bit inefficient, but it's not like we have, you know, a ton of mega super bombs that we want to draw all the time or anything like that. It's sealed, so stuff's pretty close card quality wise. Yeah, that's deck number 1. So for deck 2, we're going to pull another random character here. And we can't get Dobby again because I'm not going to put him back in this stack, and that'd be lame anyway. Let's see. Toga. Alright, so that's a tricky start, right? You're hoping to open a bunch of Toga cards, basically, if you want to run Toga. And if you don't open a bunch of Toga cards, then you hope you open another character. But, you know, Toga's fine if you get the right mix of cards. And I guess because this is from the same box, we probably don't have a chance to get Rushing Stab again. It's a little sad. Alright. Oh, we have Blood Evaluation. Alright, we have Shigaraki. So we no longer have to worry about being locked into Toga. But we do have Blood Evaluation, which is cool. We have our first Toga move. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of sort these by type coming out. I've gotten worse at opening packs since the last time I did this. Convenient timing, that's nice to see. For sure, especially if we're, you know, presently in Shigaraki mode. Same with All Out Battle. Got another asset. No other characters here. Convenient timing. We have some. Alright, we have 2 Toga attacks. I mean, we're getting there. I don't think it's probably unlikely that we get enough Toga attacks that we're actually seriously gonna run Toga. Oh god, XR Fancy Feast. That's a bit rough. That card is a fun card, but it does literally nothing in this set. And doesn't really do a whole lot in Constructed either. It's kind of just a Deadlock Enhance and a neat piece. Maybe there's going to be more tap cards later of some kind. Hey, Vile Season. Just because we have Vile Season isn't necessarily... Like, obviously it plays with Shigaraki's theme, and he's happy to have a utility, you know, 4/3 that's going to do stuff for him. But it's not like a bomb card, it's just like a great, efficient, like, spiky Constructed card. But we're still going to run it, obviously. No way we're not running that. Hey, Dignified Display. Pretty good. We have a Cremation here as well. I see an Expanding Capacity in here. We love those. It's a great momentum outlet. If you're playing in a sealed match and you have a chance to flip one of your opponent's foundations or something, or get rid of it, Expanding Capacity is a pretty good first target. Yeah, we have an Echo. We have 2 Echo moves, so that's very good. That's very helpful for winning games. And we're gonna play Resolute Rushdown, even if it's, you know, we're not that excited about the raid on the 6 diff. I just realized I have a lot of these assets are off camera. They're here. We're almost certainly not running them. So we just have Toga and Shigaraki. We did get like 3 Toga attacks. That's not really gonna get us into Toga range, so we might include Toga as a buddy block for a 7-hander, but yeah, we're just gonna play Shigaraki good stuff here. So these are all certainly good stuff. And we're a 7-hander, we're probably gonna run so 14 attacks out of 40 cards is 35%, so we could be 14, we could be 15. And you know, here we're at the spot where we're kind of just trying to get the damage numbers, right? Because our character doesn't provide damage, so to be a little bit willing to play some pricier stuff. You know, Muscle Mauler's not going to have the -1 difficulty very often, but it has damage on it. I don't know if we're playing Blue Flame Smolder. We might not play these, like, slow for 5 kind of moves. We're probably not playing the little 2 damage guys. I haven't put too many of these cards off camera. Just now noticing. This is 2 damage move. We might play Gory Stab for the momentum hate part of it. Probably not running Piercing Route. Probably not running this. We're going to have to run one of these low damage moves, I think, just counting. But we have some, you know, relatively efficient 4 diffs here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 attacks. Yeah, so we have to pick a couple of these to run. We'll probably just do 2. And Blue Flame Smolder is not really that exciting here either. We have to pick 3 of these moves, because we already have a bunch of... a relative bunch of high difficulties. I think we'll play Shrapnel Tooth for the utility for the target flip for the block. So all these moves are low damage, right? Again, we're not going to really have the kicks to combo this Jet Kickback. But we might run it anyway, just because it has the number 6 on it. And makes them spend a card dealing with it, and it's 4 difficulty. We can play Muscle Rush. It's a guaranteed momentum. They'll probably take it a lot. I think I'm going to play the Kickback out of this list. And maybe settle on that. Set these off to the side here. You know, Dark Interruption is your other option here. You could value the utility of the guaranteed check, discarding card every year. We do get a lot of cards. I'm going to play Dark Interruption over Muscle Rush. We are ostensibly drawing cards, so feeding one to force a check isn't actually that bad of an ability. And yeah, Muscle Rush isn't doing anything we super want to do. And yeah, these 5 are... I mean, Measured Violence isn't a bad card, but we're trying to find stuff that's going to do damage for us. You could run Measured Violence over Jet Kickback. That's an interesting call. You know what? Probably just going to do that. We have the flash move, maybe. We have some throws. We have some stuff that's kind of good to put the +2 speed on. Kind of lob that guy out there, maybe put a card in the card pool. You could go with Jet Kickback too, though. That's not the worst idea ever. We might as well play the 2 actions. I'm assuming we're going to end up playing the 2 actions. Get these guys out of here. So we have 14 moves, but we have 2 echoes, so we're not... And it's 35% in a 7-hander that's drawing cards. It's not disastrously bad or anything. That'd be a high number for constructed, right? But for sealed, your attack quality is obviously less, and Shigaraki's not doing a ton of damage. Alright, so we have our 14 moves. Probably going to play these, so we need 24 foundations minimum. We're allowed to play more, but we don't want to dilute our deck too much. So this is where we might start cutting some of these spams that are very blank in this list. Man, we have Polite and Well-Spoken, but we didn't get a Whiplash to go pick it up with. But we do have a Master's Apprentice, so we're just going to play the zeros because they're zeros. I think we're going to cut the Blade Tubes because they're not going to trigger very much in this list with what we have here. We have like 2 moves that might trigger it, so I don't think, even though it's a 1 difficulty, I don't think like the 4-check 4-block blank card is really worth it, and we're going to be probably cutting cards, but that does mean we're pretty much playing the rest of our spam that are just 1/5s that are also mostly blank, but we're at 9 spams out of a 40 card deck. That's okay. That's almost 25%. That's pretty fine. And we don't have any bad checks. We can run our 3 diffs without fear. The Disturbing Visage is blank. These cards are both very good. And we have 2 pump-ups. We might not do both of those. So we're going to have some decisions to make on our 2 diffs here. So what are the ones that are just straight good? Sense of Justice, Expanding Capacity, and Control. This is straight good. I don't know if we're going to use... We're certainly using that. We have 2 Mastermind's Apprentice. Speed card, Speed Hate. Oh, we have 2 Convenient Timings also. My goodness. Alright. So if we were to do all this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 18 foundations right here. We're probably playing at least these 3. I don't know if we're doing 2 pump up. 19, 20, 21. So we only need to pick 3 of these foundations that we're a little lukewarm on playing, and Contempt for Heroes is still perfectly fine. Blade Expertise. Kind of okay. We're drawing some cards. I don't know how many. I mean, we do have the 2 Hack and Slash. So, Blade Expertise gives us a way to actually build that thing during an attack, which is kind of cool. So, I'm going to talk myself into running that. We don't have really any... We do have the Echoes for effortless movement, but not really any duplicates. We're not going to bother with Sluggish. This doesn't seem relevant. It's probably just going to be these 2, and then take your pick out of these guys, I guess. It might just be the other pump up. Might just run 4 pump ups and get the extra low block in here. Just kind of gonna check, see if our low block ratio is disappointing or not. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. We'll probably just take the pump up for the low block. You could also go Eyes of the Tiger and shut off. If Kurogiri's in this format, using this just to shut off his Breaker 2 might also be a good play. I'm gonna lean that way. I'm just gonna get Eyes of the Tiger in here. And this should be 40 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. Alright, so we have a Shigaraki deck. A little more straight 40 cards, a little more refined. You know, we're gonna have to, you know, sometimes count to 36 with, you know, just what we've got here. We do have some relatively high damage moves. We have 2 Echoes that can just, you know, come in there and do multiplied damage. Some throws. It's still going to be uphill to count all the way to 36, but you're going to kind of... You're here to basically block everything he's doing and, you know, buy time and slowly chip him down. You're at decent risk of decking yourself out if you use Mastermind's Apprentice too much, but they do count as, like, some decent speed to help land things. Our speed hate is a little thin here. We just have the 1 stalking and the 1 in control, so that's a little scary. We might be a little exposed to Spinner with this deck, for instance. But, yeah, for what we've got, should be pretty good. It'll be a decent little sealed deck taking a pre-release and play a lot of cards and draw a lot of cards and have a pretty good time. Yeah. That's going to wrap it up for our 2 quick sealed deck builds. I'm not sure if going this quickly is super useful from, like, a strategy perspective, but I don't know. Hopefully just the exercise has some merit on its own. You certainly could have built Muscular with the first deck and made it smaller and leaned into, you know, you had the 2 Muscular spams you could have gone with, but I think this pile with what we had was pretty much locked to Shigaraki, and then you just kind of, you know, take a beeline for whatever's going to find you the most damage, right? And we're sort of hoping that the Measured Violence is going to do a little bit more than the Jet Kickback, but not too many, like, big serious decisions to make with this second pack, so not too bad. So yeah, hope this was interesting. Hope this helps people out a little bit. With the other half of this box, I kind of want to try to do something draft related, but I need to actually put some personal thought into what the draft format for this set's going to look like with the symbol lineups and stuff like that. I certainly haven't drafted it yet myself, and I don't know if we're going to do draft at our store, but some stores will, so it'll be fun to go through some packs and be like, what's your first pick, that sort of thing. Alright, hope people have fun. We should have a news video pretty soon here. I'm going to wait till the end of the week until they're done. They're in one of those barraging news over the span of a couple days phases again, so we're gonna let that run its course and then do a news update going into the weekend. Until then, take care. Have a good night.